creating the deal lab. Look, this has been a long time coming. I've done this a few times before, through the closers lab. Just want to, and so I'm super excited about this one because we're just going to focus and zone in on what I call, just doing deals, right? That's one of the things that I'm focusing on with this shows in particular. But let me go ahead and make sure that we are live because I know a lot of times, with these streams, there's always issues, there's always problems, obviously. So I want to make sure if you can see me and you see that I'm live. Let's see if you just drop in the comment section that you can see the stream. Right now, I'm not seeing anything in regards to the stream for some reason. Let me take a look here. I don't know why, but let's see. I'm gonna go to YouTube and interesting, nothing there. So, hmm. All right. So it looks like YouTube. It looks like we're live on YouTube. We got one viewer. Put in the chat. Where you're viewing from or where you're watching this from. Um, why is I don't know what's going on. I can't see it. If you can see me, for some reason I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. The first time I've used this program here, so I'm not sure what is taking so long for you to be able to see me. Let's take a look here. There we go. Okay, so it looks like there's a little bit of lag and some delay, especially on the YouTube side. I don't know why, but if you can see me and you can hear me, drop a fire emoji uh, and drop a fire emoji and let me know where you're tuning in from, so that way we can so that way I can give you a shout out as well too. So I see I am live on YouTube now. So cool, that's awesome. Now let me go ahead and go to Facebook because for some reason I was supposed to go live on both, and I'm not sure what is happening. Not a good way to start. Oh man, let me take a look here. Not a good way to start with this. But drop in the comment section where you're tuning in from, where you're watching me, and so that way I can give you a shout out and basically, that way people can know and connect. Obviously, that's one of the things I want to make sure that people connect on here and make sure that you guys do some deals together. But right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that that I'm live also on Facebook as well too. So, and if not, it's okay. I'm okay with just going live on YouTube for now. Yep, it looks like I'm live. Perfect. So I am live on both, which is great. So there we go. All right. Let's go. So everyone, do this again. I am sorry about this, but we had some technical difficulties. But we're back. Welcome to the Deal Lab, brand new show that I'm starting. On YouTube, and also obviously going to be going live on Facebook. But those of you that are jumping on, there's a few of you on here already. Put in the chat where are you watching from, where are you tuning in from. That way I can give you a shout out, and that way I can, basically. Give you guys a shout out, and that way you can connect with people as well because you might find some people in the same market. But look, I am extremely excited again, like I said it earlier, about the deal lab. I've done the closers lab, the close for those of you that have been following me for a while now. um I've had the closers lab now for a very long time, right? And one of the things that with the closers lab, it was a little bit more broader, right? So it kind of it combines not just training and deals, but it also so both together. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to isolate the deals on their own because one of the things that I want to focus on with that's why I created the deal lab because I want the deal lab to be just focused on locking up deals, talking to sellers, navigating right the world of what I want to say, the world of negotiations, talking to sellers. Jalen, what up, man? Appreciate you, brother, for dropping them fire emojis. Again, as you're tuning in, as you're dropping in, I know there's some of you guys are dropping in. Drop in the chat there. Where you're tuning in from. Give a shout out. So what I did is I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I think what I want to do is I want to relaunch this, but I want it to be a little bit separate, right? I still have the closers lab, but I wanted to focus more on the deal generating section, and that's why through long thought and planning, and just basically strategically trying to figure out how do I approach this, how do I move forward with this to where it makes sense. And that's how the deal lab was born. So again, I'm really excited about this because again, here's a few things. One thing is, I don't want this to be a show where you guys just see me make call after call after call. I want it to be interactive. I want to answer your questions, right? I'm also going to be doing some things that, that happen in the day-to-day operations, right? That happen, when you're actually doing the business. So for example, right, I might be here trying to get a hold of a seller, and then my transaction coordinator calls me, right? I'm going to take that call so you guys can listen. Obviously I'm going to tell her she's on the live, and so that way she doesn't say anything she doesn't need to say, as sort of address and things like that. So one thing, so those are the things that are going to happen, right? Maybe talk to a title company, maybe talk to a real estate agent, maybe talk to whoever, right? My lead manager. So these are the things that are going to happen on the deal lab. It's going to be a full-blown experience, right? It's not just going to be myself, right? Doing calls, like you watching me doing phone calls. You're gonna see it's a whole experience. That's the goal for the deal lab. So that's why I'm super excited about it, just because it's gonna be a little bit different than before. I'm gonna run through here in just a little bit what I'm gonna be using to track my progress. Look, you guys know, right, that in order for you to get good, in order for you to be good, in order for you to be great, right, you need to be able to know how to track your progress, right? If it doesn't get measured, how does it get inspected, right? So you have to make sure that you are measuring your activities, and also understanding like where you need to make the adjustments on. And so I'm going to show you guys all that. I'm going to show you the a tracker that I'm going to use for that. I'm going to show you a tracker that we're going to use for the deals. So that way you guys can see live, right? See the deals on there that we're working. A few other things that I'm going to be pulling up so you are able to see it with me, not just me talking about it. And I'm going to show you guys that as well too before we get started. So again, for those of you that are just joining, drop a fire emoji, a thumbs up if you're excited about this. Just want to make sure that I get to give you guys a shout out. My guy Jesus says he's tuning in from Seattle. Just closed on a 16K assignment by implementing what I learned on your live vids on YouTube. Excited for more content. Let's go. I love that, man. I love getting those messages because here's the thing. I just put a video out yesterday. I put a reels out yesterday talking about this exact same thing, right? What A lot of you that are out there struggling, not Jesus just closed a $16,000 assignment, right? But a lot of you that are out there struggling are struggling because you're following, right, these influencers, from event to event to event. And then ultimately what happens is you get stuck in this vicious cycle of finding that shiny object, right? And you develop the shiny object syndrome, thinking that more information is going to give you success, and the next thing that they're doing is going to give you success. And to be honest with you, that's a problem, right? Look, and I said in this reel, so you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's up on my Instagram. I said in this reel that the only way you're going to get results and success is to actually take action on that information, right? Go out, mess it up, go out and fumble it, make mistakes, come back, correct it, make the adjustments, track and measure everything that you're doing, right? And then what happens from there, you start to get better. You don't get better with more information, right? Information helps, but you get better by what Jesus is doing, right? He's taking the information and he's going out there and implement it. Look, there's millions of videos probably now. When I first started, there wasn't, but there's probably millions of videos now of how you can do this, right? And so you can get stuck in a loop, right? You can get stuck in an internal loop of learning and never taking action. At some point, you have to make the decision. And so, at some point, you got to make the decision of taking action, right? This is the only way you're going to get results. Take action. Look, I'm all for learning. I'm all for self development, professional development. I've spent well over six figures, maybe multiple at this point. But the only reason why I got results is because I took action. Only reason why Jesus got results in a 16K assignment that he just closed is because he took action. So the only thing that I ask you to do today, and I'm going to challenge every single one of you, right? For those of you guys that join me every single day, because I'm going to talk about the schedule and all this stuff. So just bear with me, guys. Here, I'm laying the groundwork for what's going to happen on the Deal Lab, right? For those of you that are going to be joining me every day, I'm going to take account who's with me. I already know Jalen, Jesus, Ian. What's going on, brother? Strat Daddy, what's up, man? My guy Stratton, he just had an amazing event. His was fire, by the way, man. It looked really good, bro. He said, "Look at the sexy son of." You're funny, brother. You're funny. I love you, bro. I love you, man. This guy's been rocking with me from he's been rocking with me from day one. I met this guy. I met Stratton. Man, I don't even know 2018, 2019. Great individual. Listen, when you talk about having integrity and really doing what you say and really like basically being someone he's had longevity, right? You always know the individuals that do it the right way is the longevity, and Stratton's one of them. I appreciate you, bro. um he said I gave you a shout out in my presentation, bro. I appreciate it, bro. I know you always do, bro. You always show love. And look, you're like I said, you're an A1 from day one, right? So I appreciate you, brother, and I love you, man. So going back to my dialogue or my monologue, whatever you want to call it. um so I'm gonna be watching who's joining me, right? Because I want to help you guys. Like this is not a this is I don't want to create the Deal Lab where you're just gonna watch me, right? Yes, you're here to learn. Yes, you're here to see how I navigate negotiations and phone calls and things of that nature. But I also want to hear these types of testimonials, right? And Jesus worked for us for a little while. He was part of our team. And the guys, he took everything that we talked about and he basically went out and implemented on his own, and now he's crushing it. Right now, now it's all about look. And this is one thing I'm going to say to Jesus: now that you've done it once, right, go out and do it again. Just duplicate what you did. That's all you got to do. Don't go chasing shiny objects. Forget about that. You got the recipe to do more deals now, right? Forget about everything that someone presents to you. And they always how do you, so somebody asked me this question. So how do you actually do that, Max? Like how do you position yourself to not get distracted, right, by shiny objects or get distracted by things that are not important or things that don't. Well, you measure it two ways, right? If new information is presented to you, even if it's a new book, I got books over here on my shelf, even if it's a new book, you have to ask this. It's a simple question you got to ask yourself. One is the question is, how is this book or how is this information? How is it impacting me, right? That's the question you got to ask. Is it number one? Is it amplifying what I'm doing already? Or is it going to take away from what I'm already having success with? Listen to what I'm saying and write this down or record it. When you when you're presented with new information or a new opportunity or something that you're considering a new shiny object, right? You got to ask yourself the question: how is it going to impact you? Is it going to amplify what you are already doing, or is it going to take away from what you've already had success with? Right. And so if you can measure everything in your life that comes to your life, right? And Stratton, being that he knows me for a long time, he asked me a few months ago, like, hey, when are you going to start your lives? Like he was pushing me, right? And I said, look, bro, like right now I'm focused on other things, and it's gonna come, right? It's gonna come. Hey, I'm focused on other things, and so I got to get this right, and I got to get that right. And then finally some things evolved and changed, and I made the decision to make the live. So, anyways, I said all that because I want you to stay focused throughout this journey. Listen, we're gonna be going live. I'm gonna give you guys the schedule here in a little bit, which I'm gonna be pulling it up so you guys can see the schedule of the things that how we're going to navigate this the schedule for these live calls, right? So we're gonna be together a lot. And so again, I'm gonna be calling you guys out and challenging you guys in a good way. right? And then right now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to use to get success, right? What I'm going to use to basically get the results that I'm looking for, right? Because look, I struggle just like you guys struggle. I lose motivation just like you guys lose motivation, right? I am no different than any of you out there. The only difference is that I have a little bit more experience than maybe some of you, right? Not Strand. Strand's a beast. Strand's a beast. He's crushing it. But look, I have to keep myself accountable as well. You know, I got my morning routine. I gotta put everything on my calendar. I got a scorecard that I have to track myself everything on. I have to be accountable for certain things. Like I'm going to really challenge you guys to make sure, and I'm going to give you the tools, by the way, for those of you guys that continue and stay on this journey with me, on how to actually go about that, right? Because I think it's really important to understand that is a success is not something that just happens, right? Success is just it are what I want to say is repetitive action in making mistakes and correcting some of those mistakes along the way, and then all of a sudden you call it success. That's all it is. Success is not just an imaginary thing that happens one day and we all and look, we have success. Like no, that's not what happens, right? It's this thing of continuation in action, and then messing up, correcting, right? And then all of a sudden, just what I want to say, all of a sudden you win. You get a win after all the mistakes and all the mistakes, and then the lessons you learned, correcting them, and all of a sudden you have success. That's how success happens, and I'm going to give you the tools to actually show that. All right, let's see. Ian says, I watched the old series back in January, got my first deal closed last week. Glad to see you're finally back, trying to learn as much as I can. Beautiful, man. I love that, Ian, that you didn't give up. Continue pushing, continue pushing, continue pushing, and you're definitely are going to get the results, right? You're going to get the results you're looking for. So, all right, getting back to the deal lab. Now that I laid the groundwork for this, now that I put some of the things that that I'm going to do, some of the things I'm going to introduce. Basically, I'm going to show you guys. So the deal lab is going to be 4 days a week. Okay, so if you guys are taking notes here, make sure you're adding this to your calendar, right? It's going to be 4 days a week. I'm going to be going live because I need one day, and I'm going to show you guys. Let me make sure that I'm showing you only the things that I need to show you guys. So bear with me here. Do, 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 do. Let me see. Ooh, give me 1 second, guys. I just want to make sure that I'm only showing you the things that I should show you. So, all right, let's see. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen really quick. For those of you that are going to be following me on this journey, and this is going to be the schedule here. I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is going to be the schedule that I am going to be following for the Closers Lab. Okay. So, what that means is I'm going to be going live Monday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, Max, why not Wednesday? What's up with Wednesday? Well, Wednesday, what I want to do is going to be a focus and catch up day. This means that there's going to be things that I need to personally do. There's going to be things that are basically going to, I'm going to have to, you know, and this is not on my calendar, by the way. I unchecked a lot of things because you guys don't need to see all my personal stuff and all that. So this is just for the deal lab. So it's going to be 4 days a week. So we're talking Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, Max, why are you going live Wednesday today? Well, the reason I'm going live Wednesday today is because I was supposed to launch this on Monday and we had a setback. So for you guys that are going to be continuously tuning in, continuously following, make sure you put this in your calendar, right? And you'll see the lives, they'll be up. But this is the schedule, 10 a.m. Arizona time to 2 p.m. Arizona time. I'll be on here just like I am right now, and it's gonna be it's gonna be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And like I said, why not Wednesday? Because I have to have a focus day and I have to have a catch up day, which means that there's gonna be things that I need to take care of, not only personally but professionally, and other stuff, right? Where I need to leave that day open. But I'm going to be with you guys for 4 days every single week. And not only that, I'm going to be doing that for the whole for the rest of the second quarter. So that means that we're going to be together, right? Until what's the second quarter? April, May, June, until the end of June, right? So every week for 4 days for the second quarter, I'm gonna be doing these lives, right? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm not gonna do Wednesday because I already explained it why. So super excited about that. If you're planning to join me, even if you're watching this on the replay, if you're planning to join me all of those days for you to learn, drop a fire emoji in the comment section and make sure that you're liking this video. By the way, here's the other thing too is that if you're getting value out of this, right? If you're getting value and you're basically getting something out of it, please share it with somebody. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this with someone so that way they can also join us so they can get better. Because I want every individual out there to learn the right way and do the right things. So all right, so now that we got that out of the way, we lay the foundation for the calendar. um, Let me show you what we're going to be reviewing when it comes to what we're going to be the scorecard and everything else. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section. If you're going to be joining me for as best as possible with that schedule. And again, I'm looking forward to helping every single one of you that are going to join me on the live, right? Just because this is the reason why I made this. This is the reason why I created this. This is the reason why the Deal Lab is so special and near and dear to my heart, because I want to make sure that you guys are getting as much value as possible, and also want to make sure that that I am doing I'm doing the things that I need to do in order to provide that value for you guys. So um let me go ahead and pull these up here really quick, and then I'll show them to you guys. And some of you guys have seen these before, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with seeing it again. So let me go back here. Jeez, what's going on here? All right, let me see. Oops, not that. Okay. So I'm gonna be showing you guys three things every single day, right? The first one, and I'll show you guys the screen here right now. The first one is gonna be the scorecard that I've been using for years now. It helps me to basically track all the calls that I'm gonna make, the dials. I have goals just like you guys, right? I'm gonna have goals that I need to hit every single week, on a weekly basis. You guys are gonna see whether I hit them or not. The second one is gonna be our transaction sheet. This is where I track. Now I have a CRM that does this, but I don't want to go into the whole CRM and look and kind of set all this. I want to start putting the deals that go under contract inside of the transaction sheet, right? That's what I want to do. And so I'll show you guys that. And then the daily performance playbook, formerly known as the recon sheet. I changed the name to that because I felt like the daily performance playbook is a lot better. And I redid it too as well. So if you guys are interested in that, just shoot me a DM over at Instagram. I'll go ahead and give you guys that for free. Now the scorecards, those are in my school community. I really can't give those away just because the people that are in my school community are basically the ones that are they're using that. But let me go ahead and show you my screen here again one more time. Let's see. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is this scorecard, right? So obviously today is the 11th, excuse me, the 9th, not the 11th. What am I talking about? The 8th. Let me see. I got my days wrong here. Bear with me, guys. Oops. Today's the 9th. Excuse me. Today's the 9th. So here's going to be the weekly goals, right? That's 200. And this is going to be the 4 days. Remember, I'm going to be live 4 days, right? The scorecard is going to basically, this is what I'm going to track right here, right? On a weekly basis, I need to be making, during those 4 days of me going live, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. And for those of you that just jumped on, or there's a reason why I'm going live those 4 days, I need to have 200 dials, right? I'm looking to have 20 conversations. So maybe some of you are like, Max, what's a conversation? And I've spoken about this before in the past. A conversation is when you get the why and when from the seller. Okay. What is the why and when? Why is why is when you get their motivation, and when is when you get the timeline, right? So if I talk to a seller, what I'm going to consider a conversation is if I get their motivation on why they're looking to sell, and then I also get their timeline of when they're looking to sell. That to me is enough. I don't need to know, really, for the most part. It's not that it's not important. I don't really need to know, like, how much they want and the condition of the property. Why? Because there's multiple solutions that we can create based around those two things. But what I want to know, which is more important to me, is motivation and timeline, right? Not saying that I don't use the other two, but those are the most important for me when I have a conversation with sellers. Okay. Um, so let me pull that back up here. And then obviously I'm looking for 20 conversations. My talk time, 5 hours. So hopefully I can kill that, crush that. That's about an hour and then 25 minutes a day. Hot prospects. This one might be tricky. So you guys know that when a lead comes into our CRM, it's not a it's not a hot lead, right? It's just an opportunity. It doesn't become a hot lead until you have a conversation, right? It's just an opportunity. That's all it is. So what I want to do is, out of everyone that I have a conversation with, I want to convert at least 50% of that. That's pretty high, guys. Like, that's my goal, right? Out of 20 opportunities, right? Out of 20 conversations, my goal is to convert 50% of that, right, into a hot prospect. Now, what happens to hot prospects? Hot prospects get put into a different pipeline, right? Shorter time frame, want to sell 30 days or less. We need to, we got their motivation and their timeline. So what I want to do is, now I want to see, I want to maybe check the ARV. I want to do some due diligence. I need to do more homework in order for me to provide an offer for them. Out of the 20 conversations that I have, I want to, have, you know, I want to convert 50% of those, to be a hot prospect for me. So let me go ahead and bring the screen back up here. Let me know if you're finding this thing valuable here, guys. Like, there's a few of you already on. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, and then from there, what I want to do is I want to at least complete 1 to 2 appointments every single day. So I have my lead manager, Diane. She's gonna book appointments for me, and then I want to make 15 offers. Now, don't get me wrong. So everybody that I have a conversation with gets an offer. There's only two separating factors when it comes to making an offer, right? An offer does not only count as a hard offer, right? That is going to go on paper. So, but it can also include an anchor range offer as well. Anchor range offers are just, on a typo here. Let me fix that. There we go. An anchor offer is just as crucial because it sets the tone, right, for the negotiations. And there's two types of anchor offers that I make. One is a reactive anchor offer. Guys, I'm giving you too much here. I don't know. I don't see no fire emojis. I don't see no thumbs up. Um, so there's two types of anchor offers that I make. Maybe I should not give you this information. Maybe I should hold it back. No, I'm just kidding. There's two types of anchor offers. One is a reactive anchor. What does that mean? What's a reactive anchor range? So a reactive anchor range is when I anchor the prospect because they're not trying to give me my number, or sorry, they're not trying to give me their number, or they want a price way too high, right? We're too far apart. They want it really high. So what am I going to do is I'm going to anchor them super low just to get a reaction out of them in those two scenarios, right? I consider that an offer. Okay. So then oops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened here. There we go. Thank you, Jalen, for that. So the first anchor, what one, there's two anchor ranges, excuse me. There's a reactive anchor range, right? There's a reactive one, and then there's a micro commitment anchor range. This is where, where let's say your MAO is 200,000, and they want, let's say, 215 to 220, you're not too far apart, and you come back to them and say, hey, listen, I was looking at the property and I was looking at some other stuff that's in the area. I think for the most part, I can be somewhere between 190 to 195, or sorry, 180 to 190. You always want to be 10 to 15,000 below your MAO. So what do we do there? We laid an anchor range below our MAO. This is going to be a micro commitment anchor range. Now they're at 215, right? 215, 220, maybe 210. Remember, not too far apart, because you're just, this ain't going to work. You got to go back down to the reactive anchor if it's way too far apart. So when I do these two things, right, the reactive anchor, they're not giving me a number. They're pretty hard on, hey, you first, or they come in really high. I'm just going to shoot over a reactive anchor offer, right? So I can get them to react, get them out of that mindset. That I consider an offer, right? I write that down as an offer. Why? Because what if they say, yeah, right? What if they say yes to that reactive anchor offer? And look, it's a long shot. I get it. It's a long shot, but has it happened in the past? Yeah, it has happened. Like, wow, that's the most you can offer, man. I wasn't really thinking about that low, but look, if you can come up 20K more, let's do it. That's why you do that, right? An offer is not just that's going to go on paper. And then again, the micro commitment anchor range is when your MAO is 200,000, they're at 215, 220. You come back to them and say, hey, listen, look, I did some due diligence. I looked up the area. To be frank with you, we have to be somewhere between 175 to 185. Wow, that's way too low. I was expecting a little bit more. I get it. I understand. Just giving you the information that I'm getting from where I'm able to resell the property, right? And so my question to you is, if that's too low, how close could you be to that commitment, right? That is an offer. And if they say, hey, I can't be at 175 or but or 185, I can definitely do 195. I just won, right? 200,000. My MAO was 200,000, so I'm at 195. So again, the reason why I'm talking about this is not because I'm here to just do teaching. I'm showing you the scorecard and why, the reason why I use this scorecard, right? So again, I need 15 of those, right? Hard offers, reactive anchor, micro commitment anchor. Write those down. Who got that? Who got those? Who got the three offers that who got the three things or the three offers that you can consider as offers made? Who got that? Write that down in the chat. Let me see who's paying attention and who's writing this down. Put that in the chat to see. And then my goal is, from those 15 offers, whether it's the one or the other, I'm looking to get two contracts sent out. Now I'm looking for more than that, but listen, I got to build up. I haven't been on the phones in a while. You have to forgive me. I'm just like you. And I'm looking to do two signed contracts every single week, right? That's my goal. Now, I want to supersede that goal, right? But this is the scorecard that I'm going to follow. This is what I'm going to use every single time, just like you guys, right? This is what I want to use when it comes to, basically, tracking my progress, tracking my process, everything else. I'm gonna put it here, right? But let me see in the comment section what were the three anchors? What were the three that can be considered as offers made? Who has that answer to that? Who can give me the answer to that? That can, that wrote it down. Who has that answer to that? Because I want to see if you guys are paying attention. So before I show you the next thing that I'm going to be using on a daily basis, who has the answer to that? No one's paying attention right now. Wow. Let's see. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is going to be the transaction sheet, right? This is where we're going to track. I'm going to show you guys the transaction sheet where we're going to track the deals. This is what I use. This is a very micro, reactive, and actual offer. Boom. There you go. My guy's paying attention over here. Micro, reactive, and actual offer, right? Let's go. I love it. Good job, brother. Ian said, taking a bunch of notes. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Good job. Let's go. All right. So this is what I'm using, right? So we got contract date, we got end of inspection, seller close of escrow date, obviously the address. Let me go and take that off. The address. Um, and then we got, actually, I'm going to remove all of this. That was a fake address. So I'm going to remove all this. So we got the status, right? So this is a status review, draft done, need pictures, option, wholesale, flex equity program. That's what I call my innovation, the flex equity program. So don't be stealing that. The flex equity program, and then once we go active, whether it's on investor lift or in on the MLS, we're going to go active, right? So we're going to be tracking. This is the spreadsheet that I'm going to be using. We're going to be tracking all these right here. Um, okay. Now, this one right here, though, is very thorough, so it has a lot of information on it. But for the most part, I'm going to show this section here. That's why it's in blue. It's going to have TC notes, so we're going to be tracking all our deals. And then lastly, obviously, this is the one I was telling you guys about. This is the daily performance playbook, right? One thing we're going to do is evaluate our previous day, always rate it. How did I show up? Why? Did I hit my targets? Yes, no. Similar to the recon sheet, right? Remember, this is the daily performance playbook, formerly known as the recon sheet. So for you guys that are still using the recon sheet, this is just an updated version of that. So this is what I want to say. If you guys want this I can give to you guys. So whoever wants this, shoot me a DM in Instagram, and I will go ahead and give you guys that, so that way you can have that. So yeah, so we'll be filling this out on a daily basis. Obviously, today's not filled out for the launch of it, but every single day we're going to fill this out, and then including as soon as we finish, right? Whether it's 2 o'clock, 2:30, it don't matter. We're gonna fill this out. End of day wins. What did I accomplish, overcome, or learn? Right? This we're gonna use this. So again, we're gonna use the scorecard, right? You guys are gonna see real numbers on here. So if that day was zero, you guys are gonna see a zero, right? You're gonna see the tracking of each deal. So that way you guys can really live the experience of what we're doing with these deals, right? Where they're at, the issues we're having, the success we're having, and then obviously we're going to be filling this out on a daily basis when it comes to keeping ourselves accountable for that day. So, all right. Any other questions? Any other questions that you guys might have? Jose, welcome to the stream. I don't know if you've been with us for a while, but I appreciate you, brother, for dropping them fire emojis. Thank you for that. So, guys, was that valuable? What the things we're gonna do here is amazing, right? We're not just gonna make calls. I want this to be a fully real experience. Sorry, just kind of lagging on my words here. A real experience where you're not just listening to someone tell you, well, when someone says this, say that, or you know what you should do, this, right? Or I'm gonna go through how I comp properties as well. Look, comping properties is one of the most, even till this day today, I still struggle in some areas, right? Some markets where there's not a lot of comps, like to come up with the comp. But I've been doing this for such a long time that I just got really good at really guesstimating professionally, right? That's all comps are, right? Look, there's no such thing as a pro comper. There's no such thing as somebody, that's perfect at comping. Not even appraisal reps, right? Or an appraiser. Like, they just grab the data, and then they get the data, and then they make an educated guesstimate of what your property will sell for, right? That's all it is. And that's all that I do as well too, right? Now, I make the adjustments, right? If I am unsure, I'll go really conservative, right? And I'll show you guys how I comp really easy. By the way, I only use 3 programs, right? I don't try to overwhelm myself. I use Zillow. That's my main program for comping, right? I use Zillow. So for everywhere, every state, even non-disclosure, I'm going to show you how to comp non-disclosure states on Zillow. I use PropStream. PropStream, what I like about PropStream, it allows me to verify. It's kind of my county recorder, right? To verify ownership, verify mortgage, and these kind of things. Now, just like every other program, right? Shout out to PropStream, by the way. I'll put the link if you guys want to get PropStream. But so I use Zillow for comping. That's my go-to, and then I use PropStream for everything else to identify ownership, to figure out mortgage, see what type of loan they got, parcel, legal description, all these things, right? PropStream's been one of the best ones that I personally like using. That's just how it is. That's just what it is. And then the last one that I use is Realtor.com. Why do you guys think I like Realtor.com? Who can tell me in the chat why do you guys think I like Realtor.com? If one of you guesses it correctly, I'm gonna send you a link to get a 15-minute call with me. If you guess correctly why I like using Realtor.com, right? While I'm talking, put it in the comment section. I'm gonna give you a 15-minute call for free. If you get it right, just make sure you DM me through Instagram. I'll get on a call with you for 15 minutes on a Google Meets and answer any questions that you want. So remember, I use Zillow for comping in every single state, even a non-disclosure state, right? And then I use PropStream, right? I use PropStream to identify ownership, mortgage details. So that's kind of my back end, county recorder, parcel ideas, things like that. So so then and then there's one more, right? Which is realtor.com. But there's a purpose for that because I don't use realtor.com, excuse me, for comping, right? I use realtor.com for something else. So who can guess why I use realtor.com? We got one answer. Let's see. Is he right? Is Jesus right? Who else? Who else? Whoever gets it right is going to. I'm going to give you a 15-minute call with me, and I can answer. I'll answer any questions that you might have. We're almost done here, guys. By the way, we're going to start going into the CRM and potentially getting some sellers on the line here. So I just wanted to go through this because this is the foundation, of what we're doing. But man, we got a few people on here, and only one person has answered. Come on, guys. Let's see. Let's see who else. Why do you guys think? I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm gonna give you another minute to lay the answer of why do you think that I use what is it called, Realtor.com. Let's see. Let me make sure that I am okay. Perfect. So Jesus says picks. Who else? What do you guys think? Who else? Who else might have an answer for this? While I pull up the while I pull up the CRM of who I'm going to be calling here first. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let me pull this up. All right, let's see what we got here. Jesus says, "Is there a place to submit leads?" I'm not doing that yet. I don't know how busy I'm gonna be with the leads that I currently have right now. But that might be something that I'm maybe open to opening up, just because I think that it'll be great, for me to be able to close, some of the deals that you guys have, some of the leads. But I'm not ready to open that up just yet, just because we're just launching this. Who knows down the road, right? Remember what I said earlier is got to stay focused, got to stay, focus on the task at hand, on what we're doing, because if not, we're going to get distracted, and I don't want to do that. So let me see here. Okay, what do we got? Since nobody else answered why I use realtor.com, I'm going to tell you Jesus answered it correctly. Pictures. 80 to 90% of the time that Zillow doesn't have pictures of the house, realtor.com will. For some reason, they keep their pictures longer. So if you ever want to see inside of a house, now I'm not saying current pictures. Don't get me wrong. I don't want no DMs like, oh, or Max said that you can get pictures, that you can see pictures. That's not what I'm saying. Is they're not current pictures, but you at least get an idea of what the house looks like when it was bought, right? And so that's why I like using realtor.com, because 80 and 90% of the time when Zillow doesn't have photos, realtor.com has pictures of the property, right? And so, like I said, they're not the current pictures. However, let's just say someone bought a house, 5 years ago, and you go to realtor.com and the pictures are still there. There's a high likely chance, you know what I mean? Unless they're like, they went super south and destroyed the house. So that's why you got to ask the right questions. But that's why I like going to realtor.com, and Jesus is right, because of pictures. And if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend, if you're using Zillow, to also go to realtor.com, so you can view pictures of the property, the previous pictures of when they sold it. Those are going to be in there as well, so that way you get an idea what the property looks like, the design, and then when you're comping, you're going to say, okay, well, this house looks like this has the same layout, so it sold for this after being rehab. So that's the reason why I love using realtor.com. And I didn't say 100% of the time, I say 80 to 90% of the time. When Zillow doesn't have the pictures, realtor.com does, and this is the reason why it's on the list of the three most platforms that I use when it comes to analyzing deals, um because it'll show me pictures of the previous pictures, excuse me, of the property, right? When it comes to me wanting to know what the property looks like inside, and then that helps me to be able to analyze the deal, and basically what is it called, uh, lost my train of thought here. And that way, when I analyze the deal and I look at the layout, I can match it with, with some other properties. So, all right, let me send a message in Slack here, guys. Have you guys gotten value so far with this? We haven't even made calls yet, guys, but we're just starting off. Today's the first day, right? We have to lay the groundwork. We got to make sure that we are, here, laying the groundwork, making sure that you all understand, what we're doing here, how this is going to work. But I do have to send a message here really quick. Let me see. Let me send a message through Slack to my lead manager, Diane. Let's see. Okay, perfect. All right, let's see. Who's ready for some calls? Who wants to hear some calls? I know obviously we went on now. I was expecting at least 45 minutes. We went a little bit over, but pretty much we're there, especially with the intro, laying the groundwork, and everything else. I think we're doing really good on time. If you missed, there was a lot there to unpack in this first hour. So for those of you that are joining, I would recommend to make sure that you go back and watch that whole thing, just because there was a lot there to unpack. And so, make sure that you are going back and watching that segment. So let's see. So I'm pulling up. I have two CRMs, so I'm pulling up both, just to make sure that I got my stuff ready here. And I'm gonna pull up the. Any questions, by the way, about this? Any questions at all from anyone? Let's see. All right. And by the way, I forgot to talk about the lead sources. So the leads that I'm going to be calling on the live, majority of them, probably 99% of them, 95, 99% of them are going to be PPC, pay per click. If you guys don't know what that is, PPC is basically Google AdWords, right? Pay per click. These are leads that are coming in that are inbound. So none of these leads are actually cold calling leads for the most part. Majority of these leads are going to be outbound leads or inbound leads. Excuse me. These are people that went on the site, filled out the form, and basically said, "Hey, I want to talk to someone about selling my house." And they fill out the form, and they basically um, want to talk to someone. So I'm pulling it up here for sure. So just bear with me here. I'm getting everything ready. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm pulling everything up so we can start making some calls. Hmm, why am I not finding? Interesting. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, that's not it. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right. Hmm, interesting. All right, let me make sure. I'm gonna make a test call here really quick and make sure you guys can hear me. Um, so I'm gonna make a test call and let me know in the comments section if you guys can hear the phone when I do this test call. Okay. So I'm gonna do a test call real quick just to make sure. All right, let's see.
Hello?
Hello, I was calling because you submitted a form about selling your property.
I don't remember.
You don't remember filling out a form?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Are you interested in selling your
Who
property?
is this?
This is Max. Are you interested in selling your property?
I might be,
You might be, which means
which means I might be. I don't know. I do know.
got it. Okay. Okay, so does that sound good?
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, cool. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Let me know in the drop it in the chat if you guys could hear that. If you can hear the phone, I just want to make sure that you guys are able to hear the call. That was just a test call. That wasn't actually a seller. So, um, were you guys able to hear that? By the way, if you guys can let me know in the chat, if you were able to hear that. For those of you that are still with me, let me know in the chat. Just drop a thumbs up, a fire emoji, if you guys were able to hear that phone call before I start making some calls. Hmm. Must be a delay or something. Were you guys able to hear that? The phone call I just did? Not getting a response from anyone. That's interesting. Hmm. Okay, perfect. Got Ian thumbs up. Okay, so Ian, you can hear me. Perfect. That's all I need to know. I want to make sure that you guys are able to hear me when I'm doing the dials because okay, perfect. Yes and thumbs up. Love it. Thank you guys for your help. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get started. Uh, okay. So let's call. So the first person we're gonna call here is James. He's got a property. Let me see the address here. Why am I not seeing the address? Hmm. Well, I guess we're not calling him. There's no address here. So let me go to the next one. Interesting. It's kind of weird. Jose says, I hear the call. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Let's see. Okay. Hmm. Some of these don't have addresses. That's really weird. Huh. Wow. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure. For some reason, the leads that I got here, some of these don't are not showing addresses. Very strange. Hmm. Okay, let me see. All right, let's call first one. Here we go. So it's April 8th. That was yesterday. That's not going to work. E and D. This is really weird. Sorry about this, guys. Hmm. All right, here's one we can call. Hmm. Man, do you wholesale everything or also fix and flip, buy and hold? Um, do you wholesale everything or also do fix and flip, buy and hold? So if so, how do you decide which? Right now I'm just wholesaling for the with just wholesaling. I'm not really doing any type of fix and flip or buy and holds right now. But that's the beautiful thing about wholesaling because you can, select your own, what I want to say, your own deals, right? I think that's kind of the point of wholesaling, right? Or else, why wholesale, right? Like, but right now, no, I'm just solely focused on what I want to say, wholesaling. Yeah, wholesaling everything, especially right now. What is going on here? Okay, here we go. See what they pick up. Wow, that was weird. Hmm. Try it again. All right. Well, that one don't want to talk. What is going on? Hmm. Interesting. So I'm wondering if it's my phone because it does the same thing. It's so weird. Um. Hmm. Don't know why it's doing that. Let me see. Let me try something. I think I'm having some issues with connecting. Of course, right? These are the things that you don't get to see, right? Because, right, they don't show these things. We all have issues connecting as well. What in the world? Man, this phone is tripping right now. Dang. I don't know what is going on, dude. Oh my god. I tried it earlier. It worked on the test call. Holy smokes. Don't worry, guys. We'll be here for a few hours. So this is not anything out of the ordinary, by the way. You just don't see it. It happens internally. There we go.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Let's try calling back. So typically I do double dial um, on the on all the leads. I always do double dial just because that's kind of the way to get them to the way you get people to pick up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Okay. So no Wayno, no Wayno there. Let's go to the next one. It's called Barry. Jalen said picture. Dang, Jalen, is there such a big delay, or you're just answering that late? No answer. Hmm. No answer.
04.
Nada. That went straight to voicemail. That means he's got numbers that are usually when it doesn't ring, either the phone's off or he's got you know the where he doesn't allow any calls outside of his contact. You guys know that you can do that with your iPhone, right? Is you can set it. There's a setting in the iPhone where, and I'm pretty sure Android has it too, where you can set the setting where only calls that come through are the ones on your contact. Um, you can set that up, by the way. So
Hello. No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
all right, I'm gonna call back. Interesting. Hello, nada. Hello, nada. Okay, so nothing there. Let me fix this real quick. Interesting. Let's try this over here. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So we also, I do also have some cold call leads as well. I forgot to mention. So right now, what's happening is we just started a new campaign for this specific reason for the show today, but it's taking a little longer. It's taking a little longer to what I want to say. Um, for the campaign to finally be up to where it's generating leads continuously for us. So that's why we had to add some cold calling leads to this to this session, anyways. And then as we go, one of my goals as well, just because this is like the first one, right, that we're launching. One of my goals is to actually already have appointments, 30 minutes, like every 30 minutes. So as soon as we start it, like at 10:30, I'm gonna go through. Uh, should have an appointment at 10:30, at 11, at 11:30, and so on and so on and so on, right? So that is one of my goals as well with my lead managers. Just I wanted to launch this and get it going so we can get the buzz out and so the buzz can, create the buzz and get the word out, right? So that's the reason why I wanted to create this. So or start it, excuse me.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak with Cecile?
No, you can't.
Okay, is this her husband?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, sir. My name is Max. I was calling because it looks like you had spoken to one of my team members about your property. We're on Dobbs Road. You might be considering selling that one.
Yes.
You are. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. What's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Cecil Wayne.
Dwayne, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and that's why I was calling. I'm following up or following through on some of the information, and I know the notes don't always tell the whole story on the property or anything. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions to see if we can maybe qualify the property for an offer.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Um, one of the things that I don't have in front of me, obviously, is this a currently is this a rental property or is this a property where you guys reside on or in? Excuse me.
I own it.
No, I know you own it, but is this an investment property or is this your primary residence?
Private.
Primary.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then I do have some information online. Now, can you just verify the bedroom and bathroom count for me?
Let's see. Got three. Wait. Three. Three. Rooms.
Three bedrooms.
I'm on bed. Bedroom. Yeah. Three.
Okay, three bedrooms, and then what? How many bathrooms? I'm showing two online. Is that information correct?
Two.
Two. Okay, perfect. And then the other thing too, I'm showing just it's a little over 2,000 square feet. Is that information correct as well?
Let me ask my wife.
Sure, no problem.
What's ground floor? Four.
This guy sounds really low, guys. I'm so sorry, but yeah, he's his volume is super low. I'm gonna try to do my best to make sure that you guys can listen to him.
I thought it was 22. I think it's around about 22.
Okay, around 2200 instead of just 2,000.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, perfect. And again, I know I have this here, but I just want to confirm because a lot of times what I see online is not correct, right? And then the second thing, or the last thing on the property is, it looks like it's sitting right around 10 acres. Is that right?
10.
10 acres. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that information. I appreciate that. And then, the other question for you, Dwayne, is when you do decide to sell this, not necessarily to us, besides your wife and yourself, is there anyone else that's going to have an input on the sale of the property?
No, it's just us.
Just you? Okay, perfect. I'm showing, and the reason I'm asking that is because I'm showing, is it Gayla Bryant as the second owner? Does that ring a bell?
Yes. Yeah, she's my wife.
Oh, it is. Okay, got it, got it, got it. Okay, and Cecile Bryant.
What's that?
So is Cecile and Gayla the same person, or are those two different persons?
No, it's Gator Bryant. That's her name. My name is Cecil Wayne Bryant.
Oh, got it, Cecil. Got it. Yep. Perfect. I thank you, sir. So, so again, so besides you and your wife, it sounds like it'll just be you two. If you did get an offer, you can depend on, and you liked everything, it'll just be you and your wife, making, having an input and deciding whether or not to move forward. Correct.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. And then, just ballpark, how long have you owned the property?
Uh, how long we been in here? Probably right now, probably about 17, 18, something like that.
Okay, so like 17, 18 years.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's a long time. That's a long time you've owned the property. What has you considering selling after such a long time from owning it?
Well, my son-in-law, uh, he's he's trying to get this house, build a house for me.
So your son-in-law is building a house for you?
Yeah. Well, we have uh we only have like what, two 2 hours, 2 months or 2 years. Uh,
Okay.
let her talk to you.
Okay, no problem.
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. This is Gayla.
Oh, hi, Gayla. My name is Max. Just talking to Cecil here about the property. I know that you guys had spoken to one of my team members and just verifying some information to see if we can qualify for an offer and see, if it makes sense for you guys. If not, it's okay as well. No pressure. I was just asking.
Okay.
I was just asking Gayla Cecil about, you guys have owned this property for, for a pretty long time. Just out of curiosity, I was asking him, what has you considering selling after such a long time?
I didn't hear that last question. What was it?
What has you considering selling the property after owning it such a long time?
Well, the kids are we're getting older, and the kids are wanting us to move closer to them, which is about 8 miles from here,
Hmm.
but it's about a mile or less than a mile from their home.
Okay, got it. Okay, and so, and then are you both like moving in with one of them, or I heard him say they're building a house for you guys?
They're wanting us to build a house, and
Okay.
they're wanting our granddaughter, like they want a two-story house, and they want her to live above us
Hmm.
so she can look after us.
Got it.
Well, we haven't got any designs yet.
Right, right, right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, that's great. I know typically, when when a lot of people in the past who've been in this situation, they usually don't have a place to go. So it sounds like there's already some plans. Sell this property. Sounds like potentially a new
Yes.
build, things like that. So, and what
Right.
what is that timeline for you in regards to for them to build that property?
Uh, they're wanting it within 6 months, but I'm not ready to move.
I see.
I love it here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're getting older, and I know we need to live closer to them, but I like being independent also.
Yeah. No,
But
I can hear that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. So six. So they're thinking like 6 months. Obviously, that's usually people that have sold to us in the past, they're somewhere between 30 to 90 days when it comes to making a decision. So would
no.
would would 6 months be like when you would like to get the process started, or is that when you want to receive your money? What does that look like for you in regards to selling?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not really giving it a lot of thought because I don't want to move.
Yeah. No, it makes
Sorry
sense.
about
Listen, I don't blame you, right? You live somewhere for 17 years, and you like
Yes,
it and love it. It's always difficult to, move on from it. But I believe that your kids have somewhat the best interest for you. Um,
yes,
you
they
know,
do.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah, and it's a hard decision, right? It's a hard decision. My goal
Yes,
today is just to, obviously discover to see what your goals are and your plans. We don't buy every property from everyone we talk to, and a lot of times, what we tend to find out, most people aren't ready, right? And I think sometimes
right.
we get a little ahead of ourselves. So if you were me, calling you back, to follow through on this, like when would you do that and put that on the calendar to see if anything's changed?
Uh, what are you willing to offer us for it?
That's
Have
a
you thought about that?
That's a great question. That's a great question, and everybody wants to know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Gayla. I really don't know yet. This is my first initial call, and my goal was just to
Okay.
figure out because most people say they want to sell, but usually, because it takes a lot of effort, doing comping, or sorry, not comping, but like looking at evaluations and
Oh
doing all the
yeah.
work, right? And I don't just want to throw a number out there because then you might hang up on me or might not ever want to talk to me again.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, since this process, how long have you been considering selling this? Like, when did this start?
Oh, it hasn't been too long. The kids have just really started wanting us to live closer to them because of our age. We're
Hmm.
aging.
Right, right. And when you talk to the kids, I'm assuming there was some type of ballpark range where you guys would feel comfortable selling this for. What was that range ballpark? You don't have to be exact.
Well, we've got two 5-acre tracks here and a swimming pool and several buildings. But if I got offered 300,000, it's sold.
Okay, $300,000.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
It's in a good location. It's on a dead end street. Got good neighbors, excellent neighbors. What else can I tell you?
Yeah, and you have a lot of land, which is great.
Yes, we do.
You can do a lot with that. And I'm
Yes.
assuming I'm assuming you wouldn't look at any other offers besides what you're thinking, 300,000 for the property.
If I was offered that, I'd say sold.
Of course.
And then we'd go ahead and move like the kids want us to.
Yeah. Okay. And then, just out of curiosity, is that number based on a goal that you're trying to accomplish, or was that just something that you're desiring to get for the property?
It's just something I'm desiring to get.
Okay. So
I
there's no.
may not get it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, no. And,
that's
and again, I'm only asking this because I want to make sure I don't come back and like say, hey, we're way lower. I just want to get an understanding if that's just some you're
right.
desiring to getting, or is there something that needs to be accomplished so I understand your goals when it comes to selling the property, right? Within the area. So it sounds to me like if someone was to make you an offer, 300,000, it sounds like you would feel comfortable putting things in writing.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me see here. And then what would that look like in regards? Let's just say, I went, did a little bit, because I have to do my homework, honestly, just to make
Okay.
sure, because it is a unique property where it's at, and the acreage that it has. And, I got to make sure that the property also, depending on how much it works, if it needs any work at all, I just want to make sure that I can come up to that. What's
Yeah.
if in regards to, I asked Cecil earlier about if there was anybody else that's going to have an input. I know he said it was just going to be you and him, but to me it sounds like potentially we might have to talk to the kids as well about the offer and everything else.
It wouldn't hurt.
Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and and that's why I like to ask that, because normally when I do make an offer on a property, or I'm ready to, move a step closer to something more serious, I usually like to
Yeah.
have everybody that's going to be involved, just because I know there's always questions. There's going to be, questions, doubts, and I just want to make sure I answer everyone's question personally,
Yeah.
because, it's always hard communicating, through another party, especially when it comes to selling and buying a property. That's always the biggest thing that you're going to do in your life. So if I did, let's just say I went and I did my due diligence, and I found that maybe I'm there, or I can offer a little bit more, and I call you back and I say, look, Ayla, I did a little bit of homework, I did some due diligence, sounds like a property where I can get to the 300,000 or maybe even more. What would that next step be like, for in regards to if I did come back and do that?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, is there anyone else we would have to bring on a call? Do we have to schedule a call with your kids? How would that look like? Because I want to make sure, like I said
Well,
earlier, I want to answer everyone's question in regards to, our process and everything else.
yeah. Well, my daughter is Joy Clayman,
Mm-hmm.
and it's spelled Kleman.
All right, bear with me here.
Let me find her number. I don't remember any numbers anymore. They're all in the phone.
Her name is, what was her first name again? One more time.
Joy, Joy.
Okay.
Did you get the last name?
Yes, and then what was the phone number?
Let's see. I don't know anything anymore. I have to look it up.
Welcome to the new world, right? I used to remember
Right.
everyone's phone number. Now it's like the only phone number I know is my wife's, which is good.
Well, I can remember my number when I was a kid, X12, a long and two shorts. But that's a long time ago.
Oh man, that is a long time ago.
Hey, Joyce.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And so I
Okay.
can just give her a call and let her know that I spoke with you, and that you want to have her be part of this. Is that how do you want me to
Yes.
approach that conversation with her?
And what was your name again?
My name is Max. I'm with
Max?
Yeah, Max, Max. Pretty simple, straight three-letter word,
Okay.
Max. um, and so if you want, send her a text message and or when you talk to her, and let her know that you spoke with me, and that I might. When is her availability? If you or me calling Joy, when is the
Who
best
are you
times?
with, Max?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Who are you with?
I'm with direct home buyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm So if you want to let her know when you speak with her that I would be giving her a call, that you spoke with me. I still have to do some due diligence just to make sure that we're
Okay.
within the same price range, just because there's a lot of different properties in this area, and it all
Yeah.
depends on what's possible with the property, especially that it has 10 acres.
Right.
But if you can make that introduction, that would be very helpful. So that way she's not calling me, uh, you
Okay.
know, um, what's it called, out of the blue. That way she don't get my call out of the blue. That's the only thing I don't want.
Okay. Well, the property is pretty good property. It's cleared for the two 5 acre tracts. I mean,
hmm
where you could put a house on it. We've got one house, and we had a mobile home on it, which we sold.
hmm
We didn't want that close to neighbors, but
Yeah.
It's sodded front and back, and like I said, we have a swimming pool, and actually it has two wells on it
Okay.
because of the two different 5 acres.
Sure. And is this on a septic or is this sewer drain?
We have a
Or
septic
city
tank,
city sewer, sorry, sewer drain. A septic tank? Okay, perfect. And how old,
right?
do you know how old that septic tank is?
No, I sure don't.
Mm, okay. Has it
Mine,
ever been
but it's
changed for the 17 years that you've owned it?
the septic. Didn't we
Yes.
have a new one built? We actually had a new one built here not too long ago. 2 years ago, we had a new one put in.
Okay. Got it. That's well good. That helps out a lot. And then
Yeah.
I see there's a pool. Is the pool functioning correctly?
We haven't had it going the last couple of years. Our
Okay.
granddaughter, we had it going for the granddaughter, and she's kind of too big for us now. You know how that goes.
Yeah, of course. No, no, I understand.
You
They got
want to
more
make her
important things
here
now to
late.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so is it empty or does it have like is the water just sitting there or what's the
Water
condition?
sitting there with leaves because we've got trees around it.
Yeah, I do see that. Yeah. I'm just looking at some older pictures online.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Looking at some older pictures online that I see. That's why I knew there was a pool. And it looks
Yeah.
like there's like a workshop or another like small storage in the back. Is that what that is with the purple door?
Well, we had my husband a workshop built,
Mm-hmm.
so it's fairly new. But then there are some older buildings out there also. There's an old barn with a lean-to,
Okay.
but they're not in really, really good shape like his workshop is.
Right, 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 right. Got it. And was that there already when you bought it, or was it built by you guys?
No, we built it.
You built it. Okay, that helps.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, Gayla. I am going to do a little bit more homework because I want to make sure. I know you have a a pretty firm number, and obviously that's going to be the number that's going to you know um, help you and feel more comfortable selling the property. And I just want to make sure
Right.
that if I can get close to that number, in regards to that offer, I do need to do a little bit of more due diligence and some homework, especially with the unique
Sure.
property like this. And then, so what I like to do first, actually, before I call Joy, because I want to call Joy once we feel comfortable and things get more a little more serious. I'll just call
Okay.
you back and let you know, like, hey, here's what we see and here's what I saw. What
Okay.
what if you were me calling you back about this? When would you put that on the calendar?
It's up to you. I'm retired. I'm home all the time usually.
Got it. Got it. No, that's okay, and,
So
and that's all right. The reason I want to make sure that you have at least at least 5 to 10 minutes set aside. I don't want it to be like a quick, where you're busy call. Just want to, and I take those calls a little, serious. Obviously, I want to make sure I jot it down in my calendar. Does mornings or afternoon work better for you?
either one. Either one.
Okay. So how about if I do morning?
Okay.
Around this. How about if I do around the same time right now, Friday? Will that work?
That'll work.
Okay, perfect. So that way I can have it on my calendar. It gives me a little bit of time to do some more homework on this, and then I can call you Friday and at the same time I did today, and then I can let you know what we discovered, and then we can decide whether we continue the conversation or just say we met a good friend. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. And you said you were. I knew your name was Max with direct sales,
Direct home buyers.
direct home buyers.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yep. All right, Gail. It sounds good. Thank you very much. Okay. Take care.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
This property is a little crazy. It's it's definitely interesting. Let's see here. Population. Y'all ready for this? 4,000 people. Okay. And then let's see the closest city to this Let me take a look here. So this is in a city called McLeod, Oklahoma. And then let's see how far it is from the next major city. McLeod, Oklahoma. So that's 37 minutes, 40 minutes, 43 minutes on the high end. So from Oklahoma City. So that's not bad. So my buy box, I have a buy box. I'll show it to you guys later. One of the things with my buy box is that if it's more than 45 minutes from a major city, it needs to automatically be some type of novation or flat list on Baycom, right? Can't I don't if it's if I'm not anywhere near a major city within a 45-minute radius, then you got to think about it from a flipper perspective, right? For because in a buy and hold for the most part, right? Because it's someone going to buy if they're a flipper and if they're a buy and hold individual and it's cash sale. I'm only speaking for cash sales, not novations, not flat list or creative deals. I'm only speaking for cash sales because if it's going to be a cash sale, I want to make sure that I'm within a 45-minute drive of a major city because flippers aren't going to drive more than that to flip a house. Buy and hold guys aren't going to buy a rental property in the middle, very rural, where they're only going to cash flow X amount, right? Very minimal amount, especially if they're paying cash. Remember that. That's kind of the qualifier is the cash, right? So yeah, this is about 37 minutes, 40 minutes from Oklahoma City. So this would be something I look at. This is why I wanted to make sure because when I saw the population, I still hadn't seen like where how far it is from a major city. So we're right around 40 minutes. So I got to see what what I can offer for this. 300,000 seems a little high, but if we can do an ovation on it, no, I'm good with that. The only issue that I don't like, there's two issues with this deal, right? Issue number one is we're looking at a potential 6 month timeline. Now, she said that she would sell sooner if she got the 300,000, but the second issue that might not happen is now we got to talk to the sibling, the kids, excuse me, not the sibling, the kids. And so this is why it's very important to ask this question: is there anyone else that's going to have an input, right? And they said first the guy said no, and I knew he was going to pass the phone to her the way he was talking. He didn't know the answers to anything. He didn't know like anything about anything, so he passed the phone to her. But then she's the one that gave more information, right? The kids are trying to make me move. They want me to go into another they're going to build a house for us and they want to take care of us. So which tells me that at some point, right, we got to talk to Joy. She gave me Joy's phone number. That's why I muted it. At some point, we got to talk to Joy, which is the daughter. And so we'll see. I do like again, my buy box is very strict, right? When it comes to cash offers, I have a very strict buy box. It's got to be again 40, at least 40 minimum, 40 maximum, excuse me, 40 to 45 minutes. So we're right around that borderline. The population needs, if it's not 40 to 45 minutes within the vicinity of a major city, I need to have at least anywhere between, here, let me pull it up real quick. I'll show you guys. Buy box right here. So, location, it needs to have at least 50,000 population minimum for cash offers. Remember that. I'm only talking about cash offer here, guys. I'm not talking about novation or creative because those deals, you could do a novation on this. So let's just say she only wants cash, right? Like, no, I don't want to do novation, which I didn't pitch her because I don't know yet if this is a deal or not. There's a few things that I got to make sure that I try to overcome. One, the $300,000 price point. Two, their 6 month timeline. Three, this is now the siblings are involved. So, but it's within that vicinity of whether I should make a move on it on a cash offer. Population is only 4,000. 40 minutes from Oklahoma City. That helps. So we want to make sure we stay there. Now, if there was no major city, let's just say it's an hour and a half from a major city, but it had 50,000 population or more, now it doesn't matter, right? Because we know there's going to be activity within the area. And that's kind of what I look at. I also want to make sure that I'm maintaining for cash offers. I'm maintaining a property value of 100,000 or more for cash offers, right? Anything else that I can just throw up on the market and just throw up on the MLS, I don't care about. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm talking about here. So it's a great call. I mean, the first one. So, obviously a little. I haven't been on the phones for a minute, as you guys could tell. But that wasn't bad. We got a lot of information. We even got the daughter's phone number. We got a number from her. She said, "What was my offer?" We both laughed and said, "Hey, like, everybody wants to know the answer to that question, right?" So, good call. Real nice lady. I think that was a good prospect to talk to. Obviously, there's some things that we'll have to overcome in order to what I want to say to figure out if this is a deal or not. So, any questions on that call before I go to the next one? Any questions on that call? Jared said, "Hey Max, where have you been? Where you been at, bro? I've been here." Oh man. Nah, brother. I just been put. I've had my head down, dude. Working, rebuilding, reinventing. You know how that is, right? It's a lot of that, right? Kind of resetting, reinventing, rebuilding, and so now here we are, the deal lab, baby. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna look for the next person we're gonna call. If there's any questions or any feedback on that deal, leave your comments in the chat or your questions in the chat for sure. Let's see. Let me make sure I write notes on here for that deal. Mm. Yeah, Jared, it's YouTube. I've been off YouTube for a little while, for a while now, probably over, man, I want to say at least a year, honestly. But I've been on IG though, putting stuff on IG. So I'm writing notes right now before I forget. Jose, that's a great question, bro. Jose asked the question, is she distressed or a regular sell with an agent? So, I don't think she's distressed. There's no like pain motivation there. I mean, the only, the only, sorry, the only thing that they have going on is they're getting older. So remember, a lot of times we tend to confuse motivation with situation with motivation, and all she's got is a situation, right? There is no distress there. Like, this is not a distressed seller, by the way. Am I going to refer her to an agent? No. What I'm going to do, if I do my due diligence, which I'm writing my notes right now, once I do my due diligence, what I'm going to do is I want to know if I can novate this. That's going to be my first go-to, right? Take a step back here. If I find out that none of my strategies work, yes, potentially. I got some people that I can reach out to, Jose. but not right away. I'm not going to do that right away because I want to give myself an opportunity, right? I want to make sure that if I can't do cash and I can't do innovation, then I want to see if they're open to something creative, right? Because that house is paid off. They paid cash. So when you're talking to somebody, when you're talking to a seller, right? The seller was not distressed at all, but they do have a gain opportunity, right? Like, hey, they're going to move on. And that could be, a lot of that money could be for their retirement as well. They're already retired, but maybe they wanted to use it for something. I didn't find that out, which I should have. But there is no distress in the way where we would think of someone in motive pain, distress of pain, right? Where they're going through something. But if I find out that none of my strategies will work, then yeah, I would refer her to an agent. But I'm going to beat out the agent, twice every single time when it comes to listing it on the MLS through innovation, right? That's just the way it is. But I won't hesitate to refer it out for sure. We're gonna set the appointment for 11:30. It's a great question though, Jose. And this might be a problem. It might not be innovation because of the pool, but I don't know how much the pool. Again, that's why you need to have a buy box. I have a buy box that for the things I look at when I am looking at a cash deal, innovation deal. The same thing goes for the novations. There's a buy box where I look at what are the repair estimates, because you have to remember on innovation, even though if you want to go straight cash, you can, but most conventional financing, the property needs to be somewhat presentable and potentially livable, right? And most likely that's going to happen on a FHA loan or VA. Conventional, you might get away with a little few things on a conventional loan, but when it comes to FHA, you definitely you can't get away. The property needs to be livable. Like they can't be like you can't like if you don't have carpet, like you got to put down flooring, right? It's some of the most simple things like that. So maybe with the condition that she explained, where the pool has been sitting there for, God knows how many years, you know, I gotta assume that this property needs a full rehab, right? Based on what she told me. So potentially novation might be out the window unless we go novated and do a cash, cash buyer only for that area. But we'll see. All right, click save. We're almost done, guys. To the next call. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I gotta set an appointment. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna set a task. Call her back. Friday, 11. Oops, 1:30. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, no other questions. Same affiliate link as before. FYI for leads here. Okay. All right, let's see who's next on this list. Um, All right, let's see who's next here. All right, let's see. You're right. The property may be distressed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, this is might be a condition issue, but again, there's a few other things where we have to make sure that we are where we are you know what I mean? Like we have the sorry, I'm getting a text message here. Where we have what I want to say, the other stuff, which is the timeline and everything else. Talking to the daughter, Kenneth. Let's see, Kenneth. Where is this at? Where's this property at? Who's making calls as well right now? By the way, who else is making calls? Okay, let me see. It looks like we had a lead just come in right now. Brand new, fresh, 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 fresh. Boom, 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 boom. Hmm. All right, here we go. What? What in the world's going on here? By the way, this is real stuff here, right? Like it might look like I'm not doing anything, but we're having like today since we started. This whole thing's been. Well, this is what happens, right? This is why it's called the Deal Lab, and we are, doing. It's this is the real deal. The stuff that happens, the stuff that people don't talk about, right? Um, which is crazy. But let me see. Interesting. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. I got to make a call real quick. Um, hey, man, you're on the live, bro. Hey, I know. Hey, so you can just add a number. You know what I mean? Like just any number, as long as I get to call out. Because for some reason, I tried to do that earlier. Um, I don't know why it's not letting me log in. It's so weird. No, I got it right here. I opened it up. Just add a number in there for me. Nah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, just pick one, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to. I mean, I would do your area code. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to does it say already registered by the way? Cuz I got everything in here, but when I go to let me see, sign up, password. What the heck? See, it's not taking my password. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, sign up. Oh my goodness, dude. This is crazy. It says that I already used that invitation. Yeah. Well, if you want to call, that's a you definitely can, bro. That way, maybe we'll set this up after. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. No, I know. Okay. Okay, I just got it right now. Let me look. Let me make sure I use the right one, cause okay. I'll have to mess with this later. It says invitation already used. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a lot easier, dude. Okay, let me try one more time and see what it does. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, wait. Yeah, I keep saying invitation already used. That's crazy. Actually, let me see something. Hold on real quick. That is really weird, dude. Okay, it says welcome back. All right, let's see. This thing's crazy, bro. Oh, look, I'm logging in, I think. Nope. Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Let's see. Invalid. Yeah. I'll call you a little bit later. If you want to call it, go ahead. I think that it's I don't know why it's not working. Sorry about that, man. Yeah. All right, sounds good. All right, talk to you later. All right. Oh man, technology, guys. Woo. Okay. So speaking of numbers, what do you speaking of numbers, what do you do? Use a special service or just yeah, no, so there's different services like right now I can like right now the dialer out of the CRM is where I'm calling and there's an app for it on the phone. So the CRM is Go High Level. So it's a platform build and go high level. I'll be sharing with that. I'll be sharing that with you guys. You know, it's actually a nice CRM, and it's a low price to use it. Or one of my favorite like platforms to use when making dials is actually Open Phone. Guys, look that up. I don't have no affiliate link or anything with them, but Open Phone works really well when it comes to navigating and organizing your leads as well. So I don't know why this is not working. This is crazy, but it's part of life, guys. It's part of it. We'll get through it here. We're gonna truck through this thing. Huh. Interesting. See last activity. Hmm. Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person
All right, we're gonna double tap.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
All right, no answer. Next. All right, Betty. Let's call Betty.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is.
All right, we're gonna double tap Betty.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying.
No answer. No answer, Betty. All right, let's go next. Okay, so he stopped. Let's call him. Sold my house in 2 acres. I will sell the other one.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right. Lunchtime. Francisco.
The person you have dialed is not able to receive calls at this time.
Try it again.
The person you have dialed is not able to receive calls at this time.
Well, okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an.
No bueno.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 52050.
I'm gonna start leaving some what is it called? Cliffhanger voicemails just to get some callbacks here soon. I'm just trying to run through these numbers so we can at least get some, contacts out of this. But we're not having the best of luck right now. Let's see. That's why one of my goals for these lives is to have a lead manager book appointments for me within the window every 30 minutes because it just makes it a lot better. Obviously, appointments still get canceled and we get ghosted on appointments, but the show is gonna be a lot better. Again, I just wanted to launch it because I want to create the buzz. I want to make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm doing and make sure that we are on the same wavelength. All right, let's see, Shirley. Okay, double tap, and then I'm gonna leave a cliffhanger voicemail. Hello, Shirley. This is Max. I was calling about your property over on Keller Road because, boom, there goes the cliffhanger. Right? Cliffhanger voicemail is really it's a very good what I want to say it's got a very good callback rate. I'm not saying that it's really high because it's really not. It all depends, right? But if you want to get somebody to call you back, I mean, if you get a voicemail that says, "Hey Max, I was calling about your property over on Keller Road because you generally get curious, right?" And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to create curiosity, about the call, and like for you to react and say, "Oh man, what's this about? What you're calling about my property?" So again, I'm gonna start leaving those for the purpose of this call session. That way, see if we can get somebody to call us back. Have you? Who's used the cliffhanger voicemail, by the way? Drop in the comment section right here on the chat if you use the cliffhanger voicemail. Let's see. Might use the cliffhanger voicemail again. So, okay. Let's get that. T.O. Let's call T.O. T.O. Yeah, if T.O. doesn't answer, I'm going to call him back, do a double dial, and then I'm going to leave a cliffhanger voicemail. Okay, so we don't leave a cliffhanger voicemail on the first call. We got to redo it again and dial them back. Okay, this is where the cliffhanger voicemail is going to. Oh, he just texted back. He said, "Apologize in a meeting. I can't text. I can text." So let's go ahead and text him. Let's see. And when you guys text people, don't give like the whole spiel on text messages. Like, keep it very simple, right? Keep it simple. Keep it, hey, this is Max. I was calling because you were interested in selling, whatever the property is. One thing we have to remember when it comes to this type of when it comes to sales in general, especially acquisition sales, less is more. Less is more. Remember that. I want you guys to write that down because sometimes we need to sometimes we think that we need to say a lot more when in reality just less is more, guys. Like less creates more action, curiosity, and then wanting you to for them to communicate with you. Okay. This is all I'm saying, right? Here's my text message. He just texted and said, "Apologies in the meeting. I can't. I can text." Said, "Hello, Tio. It's Max. I was calling because we got your inquiry on our website about selling the property at Catatel Circle. If you were me calling back, when would you do that? Right. So I answered his question. Now he's going to. Now I'm asking for reciprocation. Right. And let's see what he says. Okay. There it is. Hello, Tio. It's Max. I'm calling because we got your inquiry on our website about selling the property at Cattail Circle. If you were me calling back, when would you do that? Right. So we'll see what he says. We got another text here. Can I call you later? Yeah, absolutely. So again, less is more, right? Just remember that less is more um, when it comes to the things that you're saying to the sellers. Okay. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Let me refresh it. All right, let's call the next one. See if we get a text back from Tio. So Texas is, I think, what is 2 hours ahead, I believe, from Arizona. Let me verify that. What time is it in Texas? I think it's 2 hours. Okay, 2:22. So this lady wants a call back. So this lady wants a call back today at. So I'm gonna schedule a remind or a callback for this. So 4:30 would be 2:30 my time. Okay, so 2:30. Uh, and I'm big on using my calendar, by the way, guys. Like I am super big on using it just because. So call. What's his name? 4:30. Okay. So it'll be 2:30 my time since they're 2 hours ahead. Uh, Call Remigio. Okay, perfect. Boom. All right. So that might be after the live. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the next one. Boom, boom, boom. This has no address. What in the world? Let me keep going here. Let's go Tanya. Tanya. All right, let's call Tanya.
Hi, you've reached 404-72.
Call her back again. Okay, no answer. Sheesh. Renee. Dang, just dropped my coffee. No bueno. That wasn't any in there, anyways. All right, I'm gonna call him back. So I'm gonna use a cliffhanger voicemail. Obviously, I already dialed once. I'm gonna call him back, and if he doesn't pick up, I'm gonna leave the cliffhanger voicemail here. I doubt if he's gonna pick up.
Welcome to the voicemail.
5126806.
Please leave your message after the tone. After you have finished your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Hello, Renee. It's Max. Was calling you about the property over at Crosswood Drive because, boom, right? Quick cliffhanger voicemail. We'll see if they call back or if he answers. All right, let's see. By the way, there's no reason you should not be dialing everyone back to back, like double dial, right? Like you should be double dialing everybody. Doesn't matter. They all right, let's see. Okay, let's call Christy. All right, here we go.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voice.
Okay, now we're gonna call her back again.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voice mailbox that has not been set up yet.
Of course, it's not set up. Why would it be? All right, let's call Rafael Gamboa.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Okay, so no answer. Let's double dial him, and then cliffhanger.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Mensaje. Gracias.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hola Rafael, mi nombre es Max. Le estoy marcando por la propiedad que se encuentra en la Glen No, porque. Oh, y'all didn't know you could do the cliffhanger in Spanish, huh? Let's go. That was the cliffhanger in Spanish. All right, man. We have nobody speaking up today. Woo! Look. This is the thing that I was. This is what I like about what we're doing here with the Deal Lab, right? Like this is what you don't see, right? Out there, right? You see you always see the best calls. You always see everything, working fine, and really, it's now it's a challenge, right? Trying to get somebody on the phone. That's why it's important to really, really understand how to set yourself up for success, right? Um, like last night, I set my goal, plan what I want, the outcomes that I want, and I wrote them down. And I mean, the dials so far, we're hitting the dials. We've had one conversation today so far. Remember, the goal is to have was it 15 conversations per week? So we got to step it up. My guy Derek in the house. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. Haven't seen you or spoke with you in a very, very long time, bro. Good to see you on here. All right, let's see.
Please leave your message for.
I'm going to call that person back. So again, it's part of the game. Sometimes they answer back to back. Sometimes you got to go through this process, right?
Please leave your message for 512.
Hello, Mitchell. It's Max. I was calling about your property over at Shell Bark because I'm gonna cliff hang the voicemail. Let's go. Let's see who's next. Let me see. Where are we at right now? Let's look at the numbers. Interesting. Why am I not seeing my dials? Come on, man. Come on, man. Where's my dials at? Oh, reporting. Contacts. Actually. Let's see. Got a new message back. He's not showing me how many dials I got out right now. Interesting. Oh well, let me get back to what I was doing. All right, let's see. We had one great conversation today. My goal is to have at least two more before we finish the day. So we got an hour and a half to do it. You guys still think we can do it? Have two more conversations? Three conversations and every. And for those of you that jumped on late, I described, and before we started, I actually described what a conversation was, right, for you guys. So, man, let's go. Oh, let's see this guy. I don't think I've called him.
Your call has been forwarded to an Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Voicemail City. Voicemail City. Geoffrey. Voicemail City. Let's see, George is available. George. El Georgie.
Hello?
Hello, I believe I have the wrong number. I was trying to reach George.
Yeah, that's the wrong number.
Oh, it is. Okay, got it. You have no relations to Old Singleton Lane property? I'm sorry?
No, bro, get off my line. I ain't heard of it. Right. No, alright. But no, I never heard of that place at all first. Location.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious.
All right, I'll take your word for it. See you later.
Alright.
Some kids right there. I don't know what was going on over there. So you notice I didn't just hang up, right? It was like, okay, so you have no relation to Old Singleton Lane. Now, it didn't sound like a George, right, when it picked up, so that's why I approached it that way. Oops, that was funny. Kids acting a fool. So George put the wrong number, obviously. I don't think I have another phone number here. So
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
okay. George. We got Jerry. This is okay, let's see. Jerry, 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 Jerry McGuire. Sometimes you gotta just talk to yourself, man. If you can't talk to no one else, you gotta just talk to yourself.
Please leave your message for 470.
Ooh wee.
Speak.
Hey Jerry, this is Max. I was calling you because we got your inquiry on our website about your property over at Riverwood Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you considering selling that one still?
Huh?
Are you considering selling that one still?
Yeah, but not right away.
Oh, got it. What's that look like for you in regards to the timeline?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my wife out of it first.
You're trying to get what? I'm sorry.
Trying to get my wife out of it.
Oh,
She's still.
got it. Okay, got it. Are you in the process like going through like court or anything like that, or just trying to sign her, like get her to sign and just sign her off?
We're going through a divorce.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. Okay, I see. All right. Um, got it. And in regards to selling it, I know usually in the past, and I'm not trying to insinuate or anything like that. Just I know in the past where there's a situation like this with other sellers, I've had some pretty good success when it comes to communicating. Now, when there is no communication, anyways, right? I'm not sure is she open to selling or she just doesn't want to sell and is trying to keep the house.
I don't know. I don't think she can find nowhere to stay yet.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah, because what I've done in that scenario, I've gotten a hold of the other party, right? But only when they're open to sell, and I typically keep the communication between myself and the other party. I'm not sure if that'll be helpful in this situation.
I don't.
You're cutting out, Jerry. I'm sorry.
I said I wouldn't know.
Okay, got it. So just just so I can notate the file here, and obviously I don't want to knowing the situation, I want to make sure that I myself or one of my team members doesn't contact you, right away. What if you were me calling you back about this? When would you put that on the calendar to give you a call back?
Uh, no, probably first of next month.
The end of next month, you said?
First of next month.
Oh, first of next month. Okay. So I'm looking at my calendar right now. So you're saying like excuse me, sorry. Looking at like May 5th or May 6th. What do you prefer?
May 6th will be alright.
May 6th will work. Okay. Around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I put it down here, May 6th, same time, I'll give you a call then. So that way, we can get an update and see, how we can, maybe have a little bit more deeper conversation on coming up with an offer for you for the property. Okay.
All right.
All right, Jerry. Thank you. Have a good one. Holy smokes. My man, Jerry. getting a divorce. Sucks. You can tell it's beating him up. The way he's talking and everything. Like, oh man. Uh, Definitely interesting situation with him. I think that, he's gonna have, you notice that I didn't end the call there because, or right away, because the reason why is that he, I want to know, and I really have done that in the past where, pretty much like, um, I am like I can talk to the other party, right? Even if they're not talking. And so, one of the things is that, you know, uh, got to find a way to find a solution, right? Don't just give up on the first try. Like, literally ask one more question, make one more statement, give a third party story. Like, sometimes we give up too quick on these scenarios. And I got them to open up a little bit, right? What's going on? Are you going through the court? Or are you trying to have her to sign and get her off the property? Like, be genuinely curious, right? A lot of you aren't genuinely curious when it comes to when it comes to this. Like, you're very robotic, right, and asking the questions. Now, I follow a framework. Some of you guys may think it's robotic, but it's really understanding. Once you're in the conversation, learn to adapt and evolve and kind of just, you know what I mean, like maneuver, right, like a ninja, and ask an extra question, and make an extra statement, so that way you can get more information than you can. Which I got more information than I needed, honestly. That call could have went a different way, right? I could have hung up. I could have just not asked them anything. You have to be genuinely curious to see what's going on, right? And so now we have a callback set up. Is anything going to happen out of it? I hope so. But now I get a second opportunity to talk to Jerry and figure out where he's, you know, where he's where he's at, right? So okay, we're gonna set it for May. The heck is going on here? Holy smokes! May. So it's Tuesday, May 6th. Wow. Okay, here we go. Tuesday, May 6th at 1 o'clock. And look, this is one of the things too. Is remember this. I'm gonna give you guys this big tip here. One of the goals when you first start out, which I am, I'm kind of starting all over. I'm not starting at zero, obviously, but I'm starting over. The goal for you should be to stack up that pipeline with as many callbacks as possible, right? Even though today we've only had one conversation, right? I'm not focused on that right now. I'm focused on stacking up the pipeline, right? Stacking it up so much that it'll just throw up on me where I don't need a prospect anymore. I'm setting so many callbacks for me. So when I do get on these lives, right? What I want to do is I want to have actual callbacks so I don't have to spend my time so much in the like the main pipeline. I'm building the appointment book pipeline. Like I have already three of them today, right? I have three of those that I need to call back. And I'm going to be doing that every day. So when I get to a point, the goal is to get to a point where the pipeline is just throwing up on you. Too many of you focus on, either closing the deal right away. Be okay with these three outcomes: getting the contract, setting up a follow up next, or ending the sale. Getting the contract, setting up the follow up, or ending the sale. Be okay with any of those three. Obviously, we want the contract. We're good with the follow up. And number three, if we end the sale, we end the sale. Great, awesome. Nothing happens. But work on building the pipeline where you have callbacks already scheduled. Instead of going through your pipeline every single day, learn how to do that. And then from there comes the high level conversations, everything else that you need to get results, if that makes sense. Boom. I just don't know why. I don't think my calendar is connected to this thing.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Oh, hey, did you call?
Yeah, you're on the live right now, by the way.
Oh, what's up?
Really quick. So I'm looking at the CRM, and one of the things I called this lead on here, but it's a wrong number. Some kids, they were joking around. It's funny. I don't see a place or I'm overlooking it. Obviously, I'm still kind of getting used to the CRM. Is there a place for to disposition it as wrong number anywhere that I'm not looking at correctly? Or
I think it's just disposition as like a dead lead.
okay.
But we could definitely add it in if you want a wrong number thing. And then maybe would it be helpful to set that up as like a trigger to have a skip trace it?
Yeah, I would say have a skip trace, and because I believe we have. Let me go back. It was George. Let me go back. I'll drop the. If you want, I'll drop. Oh, sorry. Here, I'm gonna drop the link for inside of Slack. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see. I think if we do that, and then also for the ones because I don't for the ones that have an email address, maybe we can or maybe I can do that here. I can send them an email and say, "Hey, we tried calling you and your number was wrong."
Yeah.
If we have
You
some
can do
type,
that.
some type of I guess you think that'd be just a manual thing then?
Yeah, yeah, you could just do a manual thing if you're talking with them, they don't answer. Typically, you could do that as you're calling, and you hear the voicemail pop on. You can shoot them an email. We could also throw them into a drip campaign too.
Okay. On an email drip campaign?
Yeah, yeah. So the the campaign should be loaded in there for you. Um,
Okay.
for motivated seller drip.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Then I'll look into that. But I just put the link. But yeah, I just didn't know. The only thing I was gonna do, and before I did it, I wanted to make sure I asked you is I was gonna put them on D&D. I mean, so it's a total wrong number. Now
Yeah.
that but then that just wipes them out completely, right? They'll never be able to call them again.
Right. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. We'll add in so for this one, don't worry about it. We'll just add in the new disposition for you, and then set up the trigger, and then just for this one, we'll manually do it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm choking.
That lime is getting hot.
Man, I had too much water. Okay, sounds good, brother.
All right. All right. Well, let me know if you need anything else.
Later. Ah, choking over here. See, told you guys, you'll see the good, the bad, and then the ugly right now. Oh man. Okay, so let's get back to it. So I set up a meeting with Mr. Jerry. Jerry. Excuse me, man. Yeah, right now I'm using a temporary workspace because I got a, let me see here, temporary workspace within the CRM and go high level, and we're going to create a an actual permanent space for the new leads, new hot leads that come in, right? Or new opportunities, sorry, that come in from PPC. So mhm. Excuse me, man. Choking on water. Do, 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 do. Let's call this guy right here, William.
Greetings. This is the voicemail of William Phillips, and I'm sorry I'm not available to answer your call at this time. But please.
I like William. William sounds like a nice guy. I want to talk to him. And so I say, right? Until he answers.
Greetings. This is the voicemail of William Phillips, and I'm sorry I'm not available to answer your call at this time. But please Take the time to leave your name, your number, and any brief message, and I will get back with you immediately. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hello, William. This is Max. I was calling about your property over at Rams Court because, dang. Hmm, that one just hangs up. Crazy.
Please leave your message for 415. Please leave your message for 415-400-9064.
Hello, Valerie. This is Max. I was calling about your property over at Wood Acres Road because,
Hello?
hello, Troy.
Yes.
Hey, Troy, it's Max. I was calling you because we got your inquiry about your property over on Miller Street on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still considering selling that one?
No, I've refinanced.
Oh, did you? Okay, got it. Out of curiosity, how long ago did you do that?
About a year and a half ago.
Got it. Okay, because we got the inquiry pretty recently. I'm a little confused. Huh.
Nope.
Got it. Okay.
About a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other
All right,
properties?
I appreciate it, though.
Do you have any other
No,
properties you
I
would
don't.
consider selling? All right. Take care, Troy. Talk to
All
you
right, no, I appreciate it. Thanks.
later. Yeah. No problem. That's really strange. Um, said he just refinanced. Let's see. I'm about to find out. This guy's lying to me, and I'm gonna call him back. You lied to me, bro. He said he refinanced about a year ago. think he's lying to me. I know he got a line of credit back in 2023, but I don't see no new mortgage. I mean, the mortgage is from 2006, and then a line of credit in 2023. So maybe that's what he was talking about. I don't know. So weird. Do you have cold callers for lead gen or strictly PPC? Right now it's strictly PPC, but we have a list that AI was used to create it with. So we're considering using cold callers for that because I like cold calling. I think it's more volume, but it's not going to be a primary channel for the most part. Like anybody right now, honestly, like cold calling is a very economical way to to get deals for sure. Your cost per lead is really low. Your cost per deal is even lower, or your cost per deal is really low. Your cost per lead is even lower. The issue you run into is the volume that you got to do. That's just man. That's what I see with PPC and PPL. I prefer PPC over PPL. Not that they're very significantly different in regards to how they're generated, but the thing is PPC is more exclusive, right? And maybe you'll find some leads that are inside of the PPL, but I just think those you require, especially there's a different conversation because the roles are shift, the roles are turned around, right? And a cold caller in a cold calling lead, like cold callers have reached out, right? And they're hunting, right? They're in the list calling, hunting with PPC, right? We're the hunting now, right? They're going to the website. They're basically looking at, the actual what I want to say, the deal, or they're looking at the website. They're submitting the form, and then we're looking at the information. Basically, it's what do you call it? We're being the hunted. So that's why we're still going to add it as a supplemental lead source, but it's definitely not going to be our it's definitely not our main source, and I don't think it should be yours either. If you can economically move to the next phase, which would be a PPL, right, pay per lead, because then you don't have to have a monthly budget for a campaign. You pay as you go, but at some point, it would be very beneficial for you to create your own PPC campaign because those leads are just a decent closer should be closing one out of you know 1 out of 50, 1 out of 12 to 15, right? Those are people you have conversations with. A good closer should be closing 1 out of 10, right? And then a really good closer should be closing 1 out of maybe 8. That's conversations, right? A really great closer. But with cold calling, the issue is now is you almost 10x those numbers, right? So depending on the market, Phoenix market, you're gonna need at least 30 to 50, 30 to 50 leads in some cases, right? To have one conversation or one contract, excuse me, not one conversation, where maybe in a market like North Carolina, smaller market, very transient, very a lot of activity, right? Cheaper price points. You might need 1 in 25, but think about that, right? That's a big disparity. 1 in 8, one in 8 to 15, compared to one in 25 to 50, and so if you want to do three deals a month, you're talking, 100, 150 leads, depending on the market, right? And so, yeah, these are going to be in your bucket and you keep following up with them, but so are PPC, right? So it's a little more volume play with cold calling. That's why I'm a big fan of PPC. Like I always have been. The lead quality is 100% better, obviously, but it's still not. I'm not saying that you can't get deals out of it or it's not a good channel. It should, for me personally, I don't think it should be a primary channel, right? Now there's some people that might argue that and they say I run my whole business, uh, from cold calling, which is fine. It's their choice. I just think you would do a lot better if you ran it with, with PPC leads. The deal flow is a lot better. The deal quality is a lot better. There's just a lot of better things overall. So I always say, the I always say, excuse me, I always say that you know, in regards to the volume, you always want to have good, so if you can, you always want to have a good channel when it comes to leads, to lead flow. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing all the messages. I keep seeing one coming in, and this is weird. I don't like this new system that I'm using. I'm not a big fan of. Hmm. What was your StreamYard? I just picked up another system, and I'm not sure if I'm too happy with it. There we go. Perfect. Let me see. I gotta send a message in Slack. All right, boom. All right, let's keep it going. We got 45 minutes. We got to get one more conversation in. We can do it. We can close a deal in 45 minutes. We can definitely close a deal in 45 minutes or lock one up in 45 minutes. So I just got to talk to the right person, man. That's really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. It's talking to the right person, right? That's ready to go. It's all about timing. That's why you got to make the calls. Yeah. All right, let's see. Hmm. Joseph.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person.
Hello?
Hello, Joseph.
Yes.
Hey, Joseph, this is Max. I'm calling you because we got your inquiry on our website about selling the property over on Caroline's Way.
Well, actually, I sold that like almost 2 years ago.
Interesting. Okay. I'm a little confused because we just got the inquiry. I think it was like a beginning of April, and we just been trying to call you. But you say you already sold this?
Yeah, I like sold it like a year and a half ago. I think someone's actually already bought it.
You think? Oh, okay. That's kind of weird. You know any reason why your information would get submitted, or you think someone's playing with your stuff, your info, or?
No, I mean, let someone, yeah, saying let's take this out. I haven't owned that in like a year and a half.
Got it. Okay. That's really interesting. Well, what I'll do then is because and you know we have been trying to get a hold of you because of that, but now that I gotten a hold of you, I will put that notate that, make sure that you know it's just myself and another team member, so that way neither him or I call you anymore. Okay.
Okay, all right, sounds
All
good.
right, Josh. No, I mean Joseph. Excuse me. Sorry, Mike. What the heck's this guy talking about, man? Yeah, he did sell it. Wow. Hmm. That's crazy. Well. Hmm. All right, let's see.
Hi, you reached Rhonda Taylor. I can't come to the. Hi, you reached Rhonda Taylor. I can't come to the phone right now, but if you'll leave your name and number, I'll returning your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, Rhonda. This is Max. I was calling about your property over at Cowald Lane because boom, 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 boom. Let's talk to Dan the man.
Please leave your message for 51.
Come on, Dan.
And 229.
Hello, Dan. This is Max. I was calling about your property over at Hydro Way because all right, come on. We need one more conversation. All it takes is one conversation, and that's it. Robert, Robert, Robert.
Hi, this is Rick. You reached my voicemail because I'm not able to come to the phone at the present. Hi, this is Rick.
I need some conversations. Pump yourself up. Let's go. And don't choke out water like I did. Y'all quiet. No questions. Come on. I need to have a conversation here. Nobody's picking up, so um no questions. Mm, mm, mm. We're running into a little pocket here of leads that don't have addresses, so bear with me here. Go through these. It's kind of weird. Yeah. So just bear with me here while I get through this pocket of no leads or no address leads with no addresses. Okay, what is going on here? It's a bunch of them. I see. There we go.
Please leave your message for. Please leave your message for.
Jalen asked the question. Woo, man, Jalen. Of course you would ask this. Oh man, what do you do if they don't want an anchor range and want an exact offer but don't want to give you the number? Let me see. Let me read that again. So Jalen's asking, what do you do if they say they don't want an anchor range and want an exact offer but don't want to give you their number? So that's a difficult situation to be in, right? I mean, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that, you know, if you know that your MAO is 200,000, then you can still do you can still do an anchor, but don't do a range. Anchor them, right? The anchor range is only to so they can see that you're flexible, right? But when you're going to give them a number, if you know your MA, I'm going to give the example. If you know your MAO is 200,000, anchor them at 185. Look, from everything I've seen, all my due diligence, based on the information you gave me, I'm probably somewhere. I'm probably going to be somewhere around 185,000. Now I'm not giving an anchor range. I'm giving them a number. Now what I just did is I slid whatever you want to call it over to their side. Now it's their turn. They got to either say, "Hey, that's too low," or we weren't really looking. We were really looking for something else. Got it. So what? How close could you be to that? Right. So you could still give them. You could still anchor them. Just don't make it a range. Right. So that way you're still in a good position and you're maintaining leverage. Hopefully that helps, Jalen, and hopefully that answered that question. And of course you would ask that. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm giving you a hard time. Wow. Today was um today was interesting though. I think that, as far as like once we start get going, like we start getting leads coming in and my lead manager starts book appointments. I was gonna wait. Here's the honest truth, guys. Like this is why I pushed it back till today. And to be honest with you, I was gonna wait until Monday, until next week. But I just wanted to get it going, right? But this is the reason why I pushed it back till today, and then I was going to push it back until next week, Monday. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's better to get it going and just start creating the buzz and the energy and stuff like that again around this. So so this is why, right now we're just going through the CRM calling these leads, right? My goal, again, what I said earlier for the show, is I want to get on here and have, appointments set up every 30 minutes, which is what my lead manager is going to do. Right now they're setting everything up for me. So but yeah, it's just what it is, guys. And I really appreciate those of you that have been joining me since this morning at 10. I mean, we've been grinding. We've been going through this. I don't even know. Let me ask. Let me see. How do I look up my dials? Let's take a look here. Because I'm trying to see what my dials are. But for some reason, it's not. I don't know what the heck is going on here. 6 days ago. That's not it. Let's see. So opportune standings, conversation rate, stage distribution, interesting, pending. Huh. I wanted to show you guys my dials, but for some reason, manual actions. Oh wait, maybe this is it. No, nope. Let's see, max. Oh, here we go. No, go to manual actions. Go to work. I don't even know what that means, bro. Hmm. This is weird. Google Analytics. I gotta have at least 60 to 70 dials already. Honestly, this kind of sucks. Insights. Oh, here we go. Pipeline amount today. Sales deal overview. Oh, deals. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. What the heck's going on here? Let's see. If you were cold calling for yourself, how would you go about the second call to make an offer? Straight into the offer or go over MCTP then offer? Not sure MCTP. I'm trying to remember what that is, but I understand your question though. I think what needs to happen is gauge the conversation, right? And what I mean by that is that not all when you're cold calling. So cold calling is what is prospecting, right? So what you're doing when you're cold calling yourself, you're actually prospecting for opportunities. Now, what's going to happen is when you um, when you talk to someone, there might be a chance where that prospect turns into like a lead, right? Turns into a hot lead. Because remember, these are just you're prospecting your lead, your list. That doesn't mean these are opportunities or leads, right? You're just prospecting them. And so once you identify, right, an opportunity, right, not just a lead, excuse me, they are leads, but you're prospecting those leads. Once one of those leads turn into a potential opportunity, then you have to gauge the level of conversation, because the initial call was to discover, right, if they are interested in selling, if they are considering or do want to sell. So you have to run through a process for that thing, right? So it depends on how that long that takes. Sometimes they're not ready for that next level conversation. So there are a few things that you can do. You can bring them in through your cold calling process to what you put them through, as far as like identifying and discovering if this is an opportunity, right? Not just a lead. Once it becomes an opportunity, you have to almost do a transition, right? You have to almost let them know, like, hey, listen, at this part of the call, usually what I like to do, and so now you're doing a transition. It's a big transition. At this part of the call, my whole goal was to just try to, my whole point of the call up to now was to discover if this is actually something that you're really considering doing and you want to sell. The next steps would be for me to identify, how much I can offer, what type of solution I can bring to the table, because we have multiple. We're a full real estate solutions company, so we can do a lot of things. If you're in a position to do that, I'll just need to ask you a few more questions, need to make sure that you are in a position for me to be able to do that with you. So you have to transition, right? You can't just go from prospecting, right? Discovering, if you have opportunities within those leads, and then boom, right into a negotiations call. Like, sometimes that could be too much for a prospect. So yes, I if you feel comfortable um, continuing the call, absolutely do it. Make sure you're doing a small transition. And the only reason I say that is why I encourage you to stay on the phone, is because you already know how hard it is to get people on the phone, right? And so, and the thing is, like, I rather keep them on the phone, just like in this, right? Like what I'm doing now. If I got somebody on the phone, my goal is to take it all the way to the contract, right? That's the number one thing. I said that my number one outcome on every single call, that's a conversation. I want to take it all the way to an agreement, right? That's always the what I want. But I'm okay with a follow up. Like, honestly, like, I'm okay with a follow through. Like, if they're not ready, if they're not, if I need to do more homework or whatever the case may be, I'm good with that. Like, I'm okay with that. And then if I end the sale because they're not I discover, right, that they're not a one of my they're not my avatar, then I'm okay with that too. So I'll end the sale pretty comfortably, right? So to answer your question, keep them on the phone as long as you can. Make sure that if they are, because once you got their attention and you build great rapport, like there's no reason for you to hang up and do a second call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, continue the call if you feel like you have to do a second call because maybe it's too much or they you don't have the necessary information, or then do the next call. Don't hesitate to do it. What I'm trying to encourage you is keep them on the phone for as long as possible, but don't do it at the expense of breaking rapport, right? Like, don't force them to listen to you and for you to make an offer. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if that answered your question. So Jose said, good stuff, Max. I appreciate you, Jose. Thank you, man, for that. Really appreciate that. He also said, that's the same one. My bad. Um, he also said, do you call expires or do you? Nope. No, no, no. Nah, brother. I've never been big on any of those two. I know why you're asking that, by the way, but I'm not gonna get into all that. But I know I just, it's not my cup of tea, man. Honestly, it just because um, it just never has been. I'm always been direct to seller, always 100% of the time. So it's not something that I would want to start doing right now. But yeah, I'm not big on that. Let's see, what's your preferred outbound source? What's your preferred outbound source? Jose, I'm not sure what you mean by the question. I'm trying to guess what you're trying to say about the question, but I'm not 100% sure. I think there's something missing there. What's your preferred outbound source? Are you talking about dialer? Are you talking about leads? Are you talking about cold callers? So that way, if you can clarify the question for me, that'd be awesome. It was a good first day. I can't find my dials honestly, but I'm reaching out right now to Taylor, who's runs the CRM. I don't know why this is so weird. Um, hmm, maybe let's see. That's so strange. Insights. Yeah, but when I go to insights, conversation rate. What? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I wanted to see how many dials we have, and I ain't about to count these manually. I could tell you that right now. Hmm. So weird. I go to insights and there's nothing there. Hmm. Okay. Oh, I think I found it. Let's see. More filters. Hmm. Okay. Maybe not. Jeez. Hmm. This is weird. Um, Sorry guys, I'm still looking for the actual dials. How many dials do we have today? Oh, here we go. I think I found it. So we have a total of, no, that's pages. Actually, let's see. So yeah, I figured that's exactly where I'm at 60 dials for the day. So not bad for only 3 hours and 46 minutes. So we're at 60 dials. We had one high level conversation, and then we set up 3 follow-ups, right? So not bad for this is not bad for the activity level, and you can see like the difference, right? With cold calling, with cold calling, I 60 dials might not get you that, might not get you one high level conversation, 3 follow-ups, right? Um, this is the difference. That's exactly what I'm trying to say is, so at 3 hours, that's 60 dials. So we're talking 20. It's pretty low actually. I should be like at 100 dials. I should be like at 50 dials an hour. But we did have that long conversation. Sorry, we did have. Sorry, no, not 3 hours. Excuse me, only 2 hours. 2 hours. So, um, and that includes the double dials as well too. Just remember that. We did make some double dials, and we did definitely, we did a few different things, and we spent the first hour just kind of setting this whole live up. So in reality, we've only called for an hour and 45 minutes, right? Um, so that's 2 hours and 45 minutes. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Excuse me, not 1 hour 45 minutes. So we started at 10 and then started dialing at 11. So 12, 1, 12. So 11 to 12, 12 to 1. Yeah, so almost 3 hours. So we're about $20 an hour, which is pretty low. But again, we're setting everything up and had to go through the pipeline. There was some leads that didn't have addresses that I had to skip through, but not bad. 60 dials, one high level conversation. Right, we got motivation and timeline, and then we set 3 follow-ups, which is really good. And one of those I got later on today at 2:30. So 30 minutes after I'm done here. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Please share this live with someone. If you got value, go back and rewatch this. Listen, I'm telling you right now, um, it's just gonna continue to get better, right? These are all gonna be PPC leads. My lead manager is going to set up appointments for me. It's we're gonna make the show a lot better. But let me know in the chat if you got value from today. From from everything we did, everything we talked about, the questions you answered. Look, I know we didn't talk to a lot of sellers, but that's gonna change for sure. I'm getting very strategic in the way we do this show. And again, I'm not in a rush. Like, I'm not trying to rush the show. I want to show you guys everything, right? The Deal Lab was created for a reason, and that reason is to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's something that I'm something that I'm super excited about. I think it's going to be effective, productive, and impactful. Um, and so I'm just, excited about it. And so I'll keep you guys posted. Obviously, I'm going to get some callbacks after the show. So tomorrow I'll just talk about that, right? I had some more conversations, and hopefully I can get one of those locked up, still today. So, um, I'm not, the day's not over yet. The live is, but the day's not over yet. So go out there, get some deals, lock up some contracts, um, follow up. Remember, you should get to a place. You should get to a place. Hey, Ian, thank you, brother. If you can share. Look, this is what I ask of you, right? This is what I ask of you guys because something that I didn't do. Um, I ask you. This is the only thing that I ask for. This is share. Obviously, share the stream, right? Share it with somebody, and then just do a quick story. Tag me on it. You know what I mean? And that way I can reshare it. That I want to bring more and more people. I want to grow this thing not for the reason of selling courses and selling products or anything like that. I want to grow it for the purpose of seeing people win, right? Get them getting to see it, kind of like Jesus, 16K assignment, Ian, right? Got a lot of ton of value out of this. Most of you got questions answered, so it'd be very, very, very. I would be very, very grateful if you guys did that for me. Very helpful as well too to spread the word. We got to get the word out there on the show, but I really appreciate everyone, and I'll keep you guys posted on any new updates. I do have a follow up here in about 30 minutes with the lead that asked to be called right at 4:30 uh, Texas time, so it'll be 2:30 my time. But guys and gals, appreciate you. Go out there, start crushing it, take action. I want to hear about you guys taking action. I'm looking to help you. Ian, I really appreciate that message again, brother, saying you got tons of value out of it. But I really appreciate every single one of you. By the way, if you need to reach me, the easiest way to reach me is through Instagram. Send me a DM through Instagram. That is the easiest and the fastest way. I know some of you guys still use what's it called? Messenger. I've tried Messenger before. I don't really use Messenger. I know some people have messaged me through Messenger. It just takes a. It just I don't look at it as much as I do on Instagram. So if you're trying to reach me, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I will see y'all tomorrow, bright and early, 10 a.m. Arizona time. Lock in. Let's go, baby. Real closers, real calls, real deals. Peace.